So, let's go ahead and dive in, shall we? We're picking up, continuing the Sayori route, and we're about to have our conversation with our mom, and I think this is the middle of January, if I'm not mistaken. So, here we go. Hey, Mom. Ah, Caesar, nice of you to remember you have a mother. You know, I go for months on end sometimes, or I used to go for months on end. I'm better now, but I used to go for months on end without talking to my mom, even, being here in Korea. And like, my mom, she never would snap at me like that about not talking to her in a long time. She was always real cool about it. Nowadays, I try to be better, like, I talk to her every couple of weeks. But beforehand, yeah, she was always really patient with me in that regard. I winced slightly. I knew this was coming. I know. I really should have called you earlier. It's not that I didn't want to or anything. Natsuki line. Anyway, Sayori is with me right now. Do you want to say hello? I'd love to. I press a button on my phone which transforms the call into a video call. My goodness, is that really you, Sayori? The last time I saw you, you were barely a teenager. Sayori laughs shyly. I guess I'm putting her on the spot here a little. Hi, it's really nice to see you again. And you, dear. I hope Caesar has been treating you well. I shoot Sayori a desperate look. This could be a perfect opportunity to enact some revenge for all the times I teased her. What? That was kind of a passing question. You're really worried about that? Okay. Of course, he's been really good to me. That's lovely to hear. Looks like my little prince has truly matured. They share a laugh as I turn slightly red from embarrassment. Mom, really? Little prince? I don't know. I've been called worse. I'm sorry, darling. I'm just so proud of you. Actually, it's like, you kind of have to expect that sort of thing from your mom. Like, I feel like if I was being called that sort of stuff, even when I was a teenager, if I was being called that sort of stuff, I would just kind of brush it off. Like, yeah, such a mom thing to say. Well, at least we've established what Sayori is going to be calling me for the next few days. They continue to giggle at my expense. He's always been like this, isn't he? Actually, I would be teasing her if she was calling me that. I'd be like, wow, you're actually going to be calling me that? What are you, an old lady? Quick to tease others, but once they do it to him, he gets all huffy. Sayori, do not take her side. Well, again, this is your mom. You gotta kind of expect it. You're my girlfriend. She's trying and failing to keep a straight face. Okay, no more teasing. Sorry, I just had to get you back for not calling me for so long. How did your December exams go? Wait, so his mom knows that he doesn't like it when people talk to him that way, and yet she's going along with teasing him? Maybe that might be a little bit of an indicator as to why he hasn't called her in so long. Because she teases him and he doesn't like to be teased. I briefly described my results along with Sakurai's comments. Well, that's reassuring to hear. I was worried how you'd fare living by yourself, so I'm glad to hear that your academics are going well. Sakurai has a point though, your grades in math could be better, young man. Sayori, you're gonna have to knock him into shape. He's always been bad with discipline. Well, Sayori's not one to talk. Apparently she's been bad with math too. I snort in derision. And you're asking Sayori of all people to help me with that? Hey! Mom sighs dramatically. Sorry, Sayori, he can be really mean What? He can be really mean sometimes after you and Sayori just ganged up on him, teasing him, when you even established that you know he doesn't like it? Okay. Must have got that from his father. There's an awkward silence. Looks like things have been very rocky between Mom and Dad since the divorce. Another thing, okay, well, if she knows that the two of them are in a relationship, then why is she saying things like, he can be really mean sometimes? And this is also on top of the fact that she knows that Sayori has depression, and sort of adding on to that, wow, you've got kind of a mean boyfriend thing, wow, what a great mom. Oh, by the way, I've got some good news. We're almost finished dealing with this particular client, and I have no one to deal with for a week. So I'm hoping to come and see you soon. My heart races. As much as I've loved being able to basically live with Sayori, seeing Mom again after so long would be really nice. Really? It doesn't sound like you'd be all that nice. That's awesome, Mom. I'm really looking forward to it. Oh, I've been meaning to ask you, how hot she's cut by the sound of someone calling her. It sounds pretty urgent. Ah, no, I was hoping I'd have more time to talk to you. Sorry, darling, I gotta go. We'll catch up properly. All three of us want to come and visit you. Don't forget it's Valentine's Day coming up soon, and I want to hear all about how you've been treating Sayori like a princess for it. She laughs and softly waves goodbye. Click. I forgot how nice your mom is. That was not very nice. I don't think that his mom is that nice. She was nice before. I think that was probably the meanest she's ever been. Yeah, she's always been such a good parent. I'm gonna assume that's sarcasm. She was a lifesaver back in November after our fight. You're such a mommy's boy. Hey, It's a good thing. It's really cute. I get the feeling you're mocking me, but because I know I can't win this battle, I reluctantly concede. The Ice Queen wins again. Again, not a very good nickname. You're a real clown, you know that? True, but I'm your clown. I preferred the one from that horror movie we watched with Yuri. Such a charmer. The rest of the day passes by relatively quickly. After finishing our homework, we spend the evening kicking back with some video games. This has been our routine for a while now. Sayori coming over, we finish our homework, and then we relax. It's simple but effective. I'm glad that we're both happy just to sit back and relax in each other's company. Then again, Sayori has never been a high-maintenance kind of girl. Watching her now, with her sky-blue eyes narrowed in concentration, God, I love her. Is now the right time to say it, though? What if she doesn't feel the same way? That'd be a little awkward, to say the least. I don't know. I think with Sayori, you're pretty much guaranteed to get a mutual response. Nah, now isn't the time. I was curious, Sayori. What do you want to do after you finish school? You didn't say anything at lunch. I don't really know. She sighs. I thought that going into therapy might be a good idea, but nah, forget it. It's a stupid idea. Huh? It's not stupid at all. It is. I don't know if I'd even be any good at it. I can't even help myself, so how can I help others? You're good at keeping the spirits high in the club, at least. People appreciate having you around, and it's definitely more comfortable an atmosphere when you're there. Jordan Peterson, he was a therapist for decades, I think, at least 1 decade, and he has depression. So, Jordan Peterson is very good at giving advice for people who feel lost in life. So, it might be a thing. Definitely could be a thing to consider. It's one thing to keep the peace at a high school club, but helping people with really big problems as a therapist, the really horrible things that people have to deal with, it's a whole other story. Have you mentioned it to your teacher at least? They might be able to point you in the right direction. Again, the teacher should already know about this. They should have a file on Sayori saying that she's been clinically diagnosed with depression. If the teachers don't know this, then either it's because the teachers neglected to read the file, or because the school neglected to provide one. Either way, there is a pretty big lawsuit that could happen there. She shrugs nonchalantly. I haven't, no. Truthfully, I haven't thought about the future much. Well, at least we're alike in that sense, although our reasoning for it is rather different. We've got plenty of time, though, right? Yeah, I guess we do. The conversation tails off into silence. I suppose thinking about the future is quite difficult for Sayori, so I make a mental note not to push it. Anyway, it's getting late. Let's call it a night. Can I be the big spoon tonight? Not sure how that'd work, but sure. Well, Sayori and MC are supposed to be almost the same size, right? So, I don't think it'd be that tough. Okay, so let's see. Have we actually officially moved on to World War II yet? Or are we still talking about the early 1930s? As Sakurai finishes explaining the morning's task and settles down to mark some papers, I find myself absent-mindedly fiddling with my pen. Pulling open my textbook, I flip to the relevant page. Suddenly, I'm aware of a poking sensation on my shoulder. Morning, Emmy. Surprised you weren't late today. Hey, it's not my fault track practice ran on for so long today. Isn't it? Don't you decide how many laps you run? Semantics, Caesar. I chuckle to myself. If you say so. Anyway, you wouldn't happen to have any good Valentine's ideas, would you? Mom brought it up yesterday. I didn't realize how quickly Valentine's has come around this year. My boyfriend only got out of the hospital a few days ago, so we're just taking things slow. I think he mentioned wanting to take me to a tea house, though. Hospital? Is he alright? Yeah, just heart stuff. Anyway, what have you and Sayori got planned? That's what I was asking you for. Neither of us have really mentioned doing anything for it. I've never done anything for Valentine's before, so I'm totally out of my depth here. There's a special video of mine that you can watch for some ideas. Emmy giggles. There's a playful, mocking air to her laughter. She's your girlfriend, Caesar. Shouldn't you know her the best? Yeah, but relationships, man, they're confusing. Just ask her. Sometimes it doesn't hurt to be direct. Well, unless she's expecting a surprise from you, that is. Then, well, you're on your own there. Some help you are. What happened to female intuition? We can't give you all the answers, Caesar. Sometimes you gotta work things out for yourself. That's the classic I don't know answer. Yeah, because me trying to figure out what the best thing to say and do in our relationship is going so well. Well, a little bit of self-awareness there, I suppose, because, man, as we've seen in previous episodes, MC has made some major mistakes. Life's unfair. After class ends, I make my way to the club room. As I open the door, I realize that it's just Natsuki inside. When was the last time I even spoke to her alone? Hey. Afternoon. Listen, I need your help with something. She looks at me suspiciously. With what? Well, you're a girl, and thanks for noticing. And, well, where would a girl want to be taken for Valentine's Day? And how long have you known Sayori for? Why does this sound so familiar? Is it really a crime for me to ask for some Valentine's suggestions? No, not really. People are kind of giving you a harder time than they should be. A while, but in my defense, I've only been with her for, what, 2 months? Okay, so, really minor side note here, but the way that defense is spelled right here, tells me that the developers of this mod are from the UK. And that right there might explain why some of the phrasings in this mod seem a little weird to me, because, you know, I grew up on American English, and even outside of just, you know, the typical idioms, there are some differences, even some, like, small grammatical differences between American English and UK English. So that could be why some of the word choices in the past have been a little weird to me. So if this mod was made in the UK, then I suppose I can give a little bit of slack for, again, some of the choices, or some of the word choices I've brought up in the past that seem to kind of not steer the mod in the direction that I would expect. But anyway, as I said, minor side point there, because in America, this would be spelled D-E-F-E-N-S-E, not C-E. So, just a thing I noticed. I was thinking of, like, some kind of restaurant, but I don't know which ones are good or not. The door opens and Monika and Yuri walk in. What are you two talking about? I glance desperately at Natsuki, hoping she doesn't expose me in front of everyone. Weren't you just saying that it shouldn't be a crime for you to ask for help on Valentine's Day? And don't these two already fully know that you're in a relationship with Sayori? Caesar was asking me where I should take his girlfriend for Valentine's Day. I groan. Well, why is that a problem? Jeez, when you put it like that, I just needed some pointers, that's all. The door opens a second time and Sayori wanders in. If it were down to me, I wouldn't even bother. Valentine's Day is pointless, all that sappy stuff, yuck. People hugging and kissing in public, giving each other sappy cards, no thanks. It's quite a romantic day, though. People telling their partners how much they mean to them, all the little gifts, the thoughtfulness. Yeah, it's great if you like that, but keep it away from me. Something else I don't get is that Valentine's Day is supposed to be a day where you show your love for your partner, blah blah blah. Aren't you meant to do that every day? Well, not excessively. Valentine's Day sort of gives you an excuse to be a little bit excessive with that sort of thing. Like, nobody can really knock you if you're doing a little bit of PDA on Valentine's Day, because, well, it's a day dedicated to, you know, expressing your love for the person that you care about. Whereas, you know, on a normal day, if you were doing PDA every single day, then people would get really sick of you really fast. Thought so. So it's safe to say that Cupid didn't shoot you with any arrows this year, huh? She glares at me as Sayori giggles. We all know you're a softie at heart, Natsuki. I am not. There's nothing wrong with admitting it. Just wait until you get a boyfriend. As we're digging into our food, Monika taps me on the shoulder. I think I might have a solution for your crisis. Oh? There's a really nice restaurant in town that I went to last year with the debate club. It's called the Amber Beehive, and their food is really good. The Amber Beehive? That doesn't sound particularly appetizing. It's a little on the formal side, though, so you'd probably have to wear something smart. See if Sayori has a dress or something. Seems kind of sophisticated. Would they take a bunch of teenagers? Of course they would. Why wouldn't they? A bunch? Isn't it just you and Sayori on your own? Well, the formal dress code and all, wouldn't we feel really out of place? Sorry, I'm just, well, as you can see, new to dating and all that. Ha, it's okay, don't overthink it. Just see it as a fancy date, that's all. I'm sure Sayori would like it as well. I think the music will really suit the atmosphere, pretty jazzy. Thanks then, I'll look into it tonight. That's okay, Sayori will be impressed, and don't worry. I won't tell her you got the idea from me. You're a lifesaver, Monika. Don't mention it. Oh, I forgot to say, I'm sorry for snapping at you at lunchtime yesterday. Parents. That's okay, I imagined you had a lot on your plate. Besides, you've rescued my Valentine's Day, so you've redeemed yourself. Ha, that's good to hear. Oh, and by the way, you can never go wrong with the fried squid. Nice little nod to the original there. Duly noted. Maybe I'll be able to salvage this Valentine's Day after all. The Valentine's Day didn't really sound like it was in that big of a crisis to begin with. So, whoa, it's really dreary out, isn't it? So, what are our Valentine's Day plans? Sayori? Huh? Oh, sorry, I was spacing out. I don't know, to be honest. Okay, another thing. I don't know. Okay, people that are from the UK, you can tell me, like, is this standard? Like, this, to me, is clearly a statement. I don't know, to be honest, period, is the way that I would say it. But here it says, I don't know, to be honest, question mark. And I've seen this a lot. There are question marks at the end of phrases and sentences that should clearly just be statements, like declarative statements, but they put question marks at the end of them. So, viewers who are watching that are actually from the UK, like, is this normal in the UK, or are the mod developers just messing up really badly here with their punctuation? Because, yeah, that's very strange to me, and they're doing this a lot. Oh, phew, glad it isn't just me. I was worried you'd have expected me to have something planned. Well, with this being my first relationship and all, I'm hardly experienced in that department. Alright, Fish, who I know is from the UK, he says that's weird to me as well. It's just a cock-up. Cock-up as in, like, tone, like, raising your inflection, because still, like, in the US, you wouldn't use a question mark to emphasize, an inflection of your voice. Like, it would kind of supposed to be implied by the character. Alright, so, she giggles softly at my sheepishness. Don't worry about it, Caesar. We can just play it by ear tomorrow. Alright, Naifu Waifu, who I believe is in Russia, says, not really, that's incorrect punctuation. But Naifu Waifu, are you from England as well and you're living in Russia? It wasn't a question in UK either. Okay. Ransomware, lol that feeling when I have no idea what is going on an online stream because I'm somewhere else. Alright, so according to my UK viewers, it is just a grammar mistake. So, yeah, mod developers kind of messed up on that one. Okay, don't worry about it, Caesar. We can just play it by ear tomorrow. Winging it, eh? Yeah, that sounds more like me. Anyway, I've been really lagging behind with homework. Okay, so, Naifu Waifu is a Welsh Russian. So, Welsh, that would be UK. And, okay, so cool. Doesn't make sense in Wales either. I've got a lot to do, so if you don't mind, can we spend, if we don't spend this evening together? Well, that's convenient. Now I can look up bookings for the restaurant without giving away the surprise. Ah, sure. I was just about to say the same thing, actually. See you tomorrow, then. Okay. See you later, Caesar. She gives me a quick kiss and heads off inside. As I settle into the sofa, I quickly notice that the living room lights are on. There's also some sound coming from the kitchen. His mom's home. That's weird. There's no reason for anything to be making noise in the kitchen, and I always turn the lights off in the living room before I go to school. In an attempt to stop the sudden bout of panic, I force myself to rationalize the situation. Your mom's home. What else would it be? It can't be a burglar because they wouldn't make this much noise. So that must mean, hello, anyone there? A familiar voice greets me back. Caesar, is that you? Why question mark? It's clearly his mom. Mom! A huge grin forms on my face as I spot my mom emerging from the kitchen, a warm smile on her face. Oh my god. Just looking at the mom Sprite, I find it kind of funny that they gave her, like, Yuri-sized breasts. Like, interesting choice there. I rush forward and embrace her. It feels so good to have her back. Didn't know you were coming today. I wanted to keep it a surprise, dear. We let go and she looks me over. I'm so sorry that you've been alone for so long. I've tried so hard to come back earlier, but business was having none of it. It's okay, I'm just glad you're here now. I sniff the air. Something smells delicious. Are you making something? Yes, teriyaki, one of your favorites. You're the best, seriously. Always nice to be reminded. It's almost ready. I'll give you a hand. She ruffles my hair. It's okay, sweetheart. My treat for you. There isn't much left to do anyway. Are you sure? Positive. It's only as I'm wolfing my food down do I realize how hungry I am. Mom's cooking always has been incredible, too. Enjoying yourself, I see. Can you blame me? I haven't met anyone who can cook better than you can. She laughs heartily. So, let's have that long-awaited catch-up. Tell me about how everything has been since you joined that club. Okay, so this is going to be one of those long, drawn-out scenes. So, hold on. Let me mentally prepare myself to speed read this. And those of you at home, you can keep track of how long it takes me to get through this, so that we can see if this really is a scene that does draw out way too long. I'd say with me reading full speed, if it takes longer than 4 minutes, that's probably a sign that the dialogue has been extended too far. So, let's see. I finish eating and put my plate away. Sighing contentedly, I pat my stomach. Well, as you know, it all started when I saw Sayori on the sidewalk. Once I start, it's almost impossible to stop. There's so much to say and so much to describe. Not that we were limited by short phone calls, but I finally got into detail into what life's been like since September. After describing the first few days, I recall how the festival went. She shakes her head as I recall those inconsiderate pricks acted. Unbelievable. Some people just have absolutely no respect. No kidding. The worst part was that it caused Natsuki and Monika to have a really bad argument. I quickly go over that, not wanting to dwell much on the fight. It's something I'd never forget. Mom smiles as I recount how my feelings for for Sayori started to blossom. Oh, and then there was Halloween. We all dressed up, broke into school, wore some spooky poems, and summoned the Shinto spirit. You did what now? Dressed up? Not that. I wrote some spooky poems. You know what I'm referring to. Oh, the breaking into school thing. She doesn't look very impressed. Come on, Mom, it was just a bit of harmless fun. Didn't she say you called a spirit over? Okay, maybe not entirely harmless then, but for what it's worth, we all had fun, and it was a really nice bonding experience. She sighs under her breath. Teenagers these days get their enjoyment from the weirdest things. Okay, so maybe playing around with a Ouija board wasn't the wisest idea. But hey, it'll be a good story for my kids, right? If you say so, Caesar. Anyway, so then November rolled around. The rest of the evening rolls around. We both had a lot to talk about, and time has really flown. She yawns. Well, it definitely sounds like you've had a hectic past few months. Girls, Secret Santa, Shinto Ghost, what a mix. Anyway, I'm still quite tired from my flight, so I'm going to have an early night. I'll be around for a while, so we can always carry on tomorrow. Yeah, sure thing. I've got plenty of homework to be getting on with anyway, so that's fine. Good boy. I love you, Caesar. I love you too, Mom. See you tomorrow. After grabbing a drink from the kitchen, I walk over to my bag and pull over the relevant textbooks. Let's get this over with. Just as I'm about to begin, I feel my phone buzz. Evening, Caesar. Do you have any plans for this evening? Yeah, sorry, Yuri. I have a lot of homework to be getting on with. Oh, what do you have to do? Perhaps I could help you out. Okay, so that scene went by a lot faster than I expected, so maybe the mod learned its lesson eventually about dragging out the dialogue. I pause with my fingers hovering over the screen. Well, okay, Caesar, you should not have Yuri come over to work on homework because it's late at night, and, you know, when a girl texts you late at night, hey, can I come over, maybe I can help you with such and such, that's not a good sign. Sayori never said that I couldn't hang out with Yuri, and I don't think that she's the controlling type. It is late at night, man. Like, this is one of the classics. Oh, I don't like him, I just like to text him late at night and ask to hang out. Like, come on. But even though I know I'm not doing anything inherently wrong by spending time with Yuri, I can't help but feel like I'd make Sayori's jealousy worse if I did. Yes, good lad. But then again, I did say that I'd help Yuri out with her loneliness. You can do so without having her come over late at night. Although this was before I knew the impact that it would have on Sayori. Gah. Nah, it's okay. There's a lot to do, but I can handle it. Thanks, though. There's a pause in her reply. It's okay, Caesar. I hope you have a pleasant evening. Well, I mean, that wasn't really a text that merited it's okay, but okay. I can't help but feel guilty as I put my phone away. I hope she doesn't think I'm ignoring her. Given her personality, it's definitely possible. You know what you could have said? You could have said, hey, you know, my mom just got back from a business trip. I haven't seen her in a long time, so, you know, I'm trying to catch up with her, and I've got a lot of homework to do, so sorry, I'm just too busy today. And, you know, that would have been probably... I mean, if Yuri wouldn't understand that, then Yuri's just inconsiderate. Why can't this just be simple and not so complicated? You'd think that for my first relationship, life would be nice and not throw me into the deep end. I mull it over as I finish the rest of my homework. I climb into bed feeling exhausted. Today wasn't a taxing day, at least physically. From a mental perspective, it's a whole other story. I'm still wish that I could do more for Sayori, and the uncertainty of how to deal with Yuri isn't helping. Still, it's nice to know that I'm not alone in the house. It'll probably be worth talking to Mom about the whole situation with Sayori tomorrow. I probably should have talked to Mom a little more. She's been in my exact same position before. Ah well, better late than never, right? Salicita, Caesar is Eminem boy. I've gotten that comment a few times doing this mod before. I wake up the next morning to the sound of activity coming from downstairs. I almost forget that Mom is an early riser. That's something I definitely didn't inherit from her. I yawn and stretch, checking the time. Huh, 10 a.m. Looks like it isn't so early after all. Ransomware, thank you for the lemon, man. Morning, Mom. You're up early. Haha, very funny. I've been up before noon loads of times, actually. Looks like you have finally changed while I've been gone, huh? Rolling my eyes at her little jab, I noticed the abundance of food on the kitchen table. So, it's Valentine's Day today. What have you got planned with Sayori? Taking a seat, I opt for the jam toast. I don't know. Monika mentioned this fancy restaurant in town, so I thought I'd take Sayori there. Which one? Amber Beehive, I think it's called. Amber Beehive. Amber Beehive. She said it's jazzy, leans on the formal side too. Ah, yes, I know it now. Monika has good taste. Sayori will love it. Good, good. We could do with a nice day after everything that's happened so far. Oh, everything okay? We can talk about it when I get back if that's okay. I kind of want to focus on the positives today. Of course, today will be a great day, don't you worry. She smiles encouragingly at me. I hope so. Anyway, what are you going to do today? Well, it's been such a long time since I've been home that I've almost forgotten what free time feels like. This country and its work ethic. Anyway, I figured I should start with some housekeeping. You've let this place get a little dusty and messy, young man. You expected a teenage boy to keep your house clean? Really? Sorry, it's never been my strong suit. There's also some business I have to work out, but thankfully I can do those on my laptop. Even when you're at home, you can't really catch a break, can you? She smiles ruefully. Adult life, Caesar. Now, haven't you got a certain someone to see? I'm on it. After freshening up and shooting Sayori a text, I make my way over to her house. Hey, Sayori. She's on the bed sitting up. There's a pen and paper in her hands, and she looks like she's writing a poem. Hi, Caesar. What do you want to do today, then? About that. This must be really disappointing to hear, so I'm sorry. What is it? I'm not really in the mood to hang out today. Well, it sounds like she might be going through a depressive spell, so, I mean, if she doesn't want to hang out, then you gotta respect it, man. Like, don't make a fit out of it. Just be like, oh, okay, no big deal if you're not feeling up for it. But I get the feeling that this is going to be a repeat of what we saw MC do when Sayori first revealed her depression, and he's gonna, act disappointed. Sayori's gonna get upset, and they're gonna have an argument, and then that's gonna cause even more drama for the mod. But let's see. There's just some things that I need to think about, and I don't want to be distracted. It's nothing personal. I try my best to fight off the sinking feeling of disappointment. Well, you should be. Nah, it's cool. Don't worry about it, okay? Just give me a shout if you want to talk, alright? You know where I am. Huh. I know it's Valentine's Day today, so it's really selfish of me, but it's fine, really. Not selfish at all. I'd much rather you do what you wanted to do instead of feeling like you have to come out or anything. We can always hang out another day. Thank you, Caesar. You've always been really understanding. No, he has not. But he seems much more understanding now than he used to be, which is a pleasant surprise. It's the least I can do. Anyway, I'll leave you to it. Well, that changes things a bit. Well, don't sound all like, okay, the music is getting all sad, so now MC is gonna, like, be super disappointed. I'm a little downhearted. I know Sayori loves romance, and today would have been the perfect day to show her how much she means to me. Granted, the decision has been made. At least I can talk it over with Mom. Mom's sitting at the kitchen table, beavering away on her laptop. She looks surprised. You're back early. I slide into the opposite chair as her. Yeah, Sayori doesn't really feel like hanging out today. She said there's some stuff she needs to think about, so I left her to it. I bury my face in my hands. When Mom speaks, her tone is gentle. It's not easy, is it? It really isn't. I know you warned me about it, and I thought I was prepared, but I never really know what to do. I like to think I'm making a positive difference, but I don't know anymore. What makes you doubt that? Well, she kind of snapped at me once I told her I knew how she felt. She said that I couldn't possibly know what depression feels like and that my words are just empty, but she also says that it's helpful having me around and that just being able to listen does make a difference. So I really don't know. Well, I mean, you just have to acknowledge that when she does stuff like that, she's speaking through her emotions, and when people speak through their emotions, they're not necessarily going to say things that they really mean. So, I mean, when she does snap at you like that, you gotta kind of take it with a grain of salt. You just have to think, okay, she's a little annoyed right now, so I don't want to pester her. For what it's worth, darling, you're doing your best, and that's all we can ask for. Take today, for example. You wanted to spend a day with her, right? Take her to a nice restaurant. You were looking forward to it. But even though she wasn't up for it, you didn't get angry at her or hold it against her. You were understanding and let her do what she wanted to do. Yes, a complete 180 to what he did earlier. That's precisely the kind of patience and understanding I was talking about back in November. She said it herself. She values having you around, and whether you realize it or not, you have made life that much better for her. Nah, I've made it worse in some ways. How so? Oh, I forgot to tell you. You know Yuri, right? We went Christmas shopping with each other in December, and I saw her in the park office after Sayori and I had a fallout. We've grown a little closer, and Yuri confided that she feels really lonely. I agreed to spend more time with her and totally didn't factor in how Sayori would feel about that. Ah, jealousy, I assume? Yeah, I'm an idiot. How did I not realize that would happen? I was so inconsiderate. Not inconsiderate at all, sweetie. Your heart's always in the right place. You just wanted to help a friend in need, and there's nothing wrong with that. No, there is nothing wrong with that, but you need to be smart about how you go about helping Yuri when you're in a relationship with Sayori. But now I'm in this really weird situation. I want to spend time with Yuri because I hate the thought of her being lonely, but I don't want to make Sayori feel worse. Sayori didn't tell me that I couldn't hang out with Yuri or anything. She's not like that at all. Or she, apostrophe, not like that at all. I saw right there. I sigh, and I can't tell Yuri why I can't hang out with her because I don't want her to find out about Sayori's depression. Girls. Mom laughs softly. She puts a reassuring hand on my shoulder. Well, let's try looking at this from another angle. She's agreed to try therapy, right? How's that going? When I was there, it was going well, I guess. Her therapist is really nice, never insensitive with his questioning, and she's working well with him. She's on antidepressants now, and she started going to therapy sessions alone. That's excellent news, sweetie. That's a really big step to make, so the fact that she's made it is really promising. From my own experience, that independence is really important. You can't always be there for your partner, and at the end of the day, they're the one who has to learn to deal with their depression. When I was dating Shinji, we found that his depression was easier to manage after he had attended a few sessions by himself. You said that she has has a really good therapist, so have faith, darling. It's a long, slow process, but it sounds like she's made good progress already. Sheesh, Mom, you sound like a psychologist yourself. Ha, well, I did take some psychology modules when I was at university, you know. My experience with depression really opened my eyes to mental health. Funny you mentioned that, because I was considering going into psychology at university. Sakurai was asking me about my future plans. Well, if that's what you're interested in, and your grades are good enough, I'd encourage you to, Caesar, especially in a country like this one, which has some pretty unhelpful attitudes when it comes to mental health. Yeah, it seems like a good choice, right? I've still got time, but I figured it'd be helpful to start thinking about my post-school plans now. She nods approvingly. Yes, that's definitely a smart thing to do. What about the other girls? As I fill her in, she fits back, looking thoughtful. I can really see where I got my reflective side from. You'll all have to study really hard next year. That exam that you take at the end of high school is so important in determining which university you get into. Why is she asking about the other girls who she has never met and the player has barely even mentioned? Actually, no. He hasn't even mentioned Natsuki to her, and, like, she has never met Monika or Yuri or Natsuki, so it seems a little bit strange that this random woman would be invested in these three girls. Yeah, so I've heard. Sakurai mentioned it too. But you're a bright boy, so I know you can do it. Of course, with me raising you, you could hardly go wrong, could you? We share a chuckle. Mom has always been really good at making me feel safe and secure. Thanks, Mom, for everything. I don't know where I'd be without you. Nothing to thank me for. I'm your mother. It's my job. Seriously, having you around again has made such a difference. I just wish you could be around more often. Me too, Caesar. Me too. I always felt guilty being so far away from home, especially when you were struggling to deal with Sayori. It's not your fault. Life wasn't exactly going to be easy after the divorce, was it? You're doing your best. Isn't that exactly what I said to you just now? I see you've inherited my positivity. Sayori called me a mama's boy, funny enough. Well, she isn't wrong now, is she? Oh my god. Nope. Anyway, I was thinking we could go for a walk into town. There's a really nice cafe that one of my work friends recommended. It'd be good to get out of the house, and fresh air will do you good too. Can we swing by that restaurant Monika recommended? I just want to see what it's like, you know, just in case I want to take Sayori there another day. Of course we can. White Day is only 1 month away, so who knows? Perhaps you'll spend the day there. Oh, so I guess White Day is a thing in Japan. Okay, I knew it was a thing in Korea. I didn't know it was in Japan. I'd forgotten about White Day. You typically get a lot of chocolate. So it's one of my favorite days. Ha, so there you are, berating me for gorging on chocolate when it's you I got my sweet tooth from. I hope you've been eating healthy while I've been away, young man. Have you ever heard that phrase? What you don't know won't hurt you? I'll take that as a no then. Ignorance is bliss, Mom. You should consider yourself lucky that Sayori doesn't expect you to cook for her, Caesar. Funny you mentioned that, actually. Natsuki is really into food, so if I dated her instead... Man, she grilled me. No pun intended. Oh wait, it was the mom who... Oh wait. Man, she'd grill me, no pun intended. She laughed softly, shaking her head. Alright. So, guys, we are nearly 40 minutes in, and because I don't want my voice to get tired early, I think now is going to be a time to finish off the first video and take my first intermission. So, let me go ahead and save here. And thank you to the 10 people that are still with us. We're going to take about a 5 to 10 minute break here just to give my voice some rest so that I can go longer this week than I did last week. So, let me put on some ambiance for y'all. And I will see you guys soon.